The Golden State Warriors. Kuminga finally signed his deal, 2 years, $48.5 million, with a team option. But the deal is specifically designed so they can either trade him mid-January or rip it up and renegotiate next summer. Obviously, all of this coming shortly after or during media day. So I want you to take a listen to what Steph Curry had to say.
When his agent comes out and says, if we get the contract we want, we'll be committed to doing everything we can to win a championship. What is your reaction to something like that and the idea of like conditional commitment?
I only listen to my teammate. I don't listen to agents or anybody who was speaking on behalf. Like, I hear that from JK.
What have you heard from JK?
He'll be committed when he gets here. I just know from man to man, he doesn't want to have to be in the way of anything. So let that situation play out. He can speak for himself.
That's what you call fucking leadership. That's what you call leadership. That's what you call leadership right there. When you're walking into training camp and the only thing that is on your mind as the franchise guy is Mr. Golden State is winning the championship, that's leadership. That's nipping shit in the bud right there and setting the tone. We're not hearing from nobody else. With all due respect, we don't want to hear from your agent, your mama, your brothers, your sisters, your grandma. We don't want to hear from none of them motherfuckers. What we talk about is in this locker room, and who communicates is the players in this locker room. So me and JK, we have an understanding. I've spoken with JK. We're good. I don't care about what his agent and nobody else is doing. We're good. That's a guy that is on a mission to try to win a championship. The Warriors are all in. I believe that. They spoke on it. They're telling the world, hey, this is our last run. They understand the importance of what they need to do, the camaraderie, the training camp, the leadership, the non-distractions. And by the way, the Golden State Warriors, the front office, they understand it. That's why Jonathan Kuminga ain't showing to media today. Fuck that. Hey, let's figure this contract shit out. Okay, we'll figure it out. Will we have to trade you by January or we could renegotiate? We need you here. We need you here.
So it was like normal, simple NBA math, where if he would have taken the 1-year deal, that's the qualifying offer.
Mm-hmm.
He wanted 1 year with the player option at the $25 million. I'm making up the number, at the $25 million. And they're like, well, if we're going to give you $25 million, we want a team option. And he was like, no, I want the player option. And they're like, well, that option is called a qualifying offer. If you want the qualifying offer, you can take that and go be unrestricted. But we're not going to pay you $25 million to then go be unrestricted. The rules are in place. So where they came up with, it sounds like a medium is, if this isn't where you want to be, we can trade you halfway through the year. And so it just felt like all of the song and dance and all of the stuff for the last few months, they met in the most obvious of meeting places. Wait, really quick, Perk. He's saying he wanted a player option after the year. And if you want a player option, then you take $7 million, not 25. That I'm just saying it was really basic. So I'm glad that they got it done. It felt like all of this energy could have been avoided.
No, but they needed it, RJ.
What?
They needed this energy. You know what I'm saying?
They didn't need Kuminga's energy. Yeah. I'm talking about Kuminga's energy.
Yeah, you needed that energy because he needed to feel loved and feel wanted.
Yeah, agree.
Okay, and again, they needed to come to some type of common ground. You know what I mean? And it's more so, I bet you Steve Curry gonna have his ass in the rotation. I know that much. I bet you he's gonna be in the rotation. See, all this stuff plays a part. When we go back and we look to the Rocket series, when we were on here discussing this, and he was out of the lineup, right, in the play-in tournament. He's not in the rotation. A young fella is thinking about all that. This is a guy that you drafted with one of your lottery picks 3 or 4 years ago, who has somewhat developed. in your system who has shown flashes of being a pretty damn good player. And with his athleticism, now you can bring him in. Hey, here you go. We done met at common grounds. We need that athleticism. Because we got a bunch of senior citizens over here. We need you, dog. Especially in the loaded way. We need you, big fella.
Well, wait. But also, there are more times than not, and I'll end on this. You come on here very, very often talking about how much they need Kuminga. I want you to also start watching the things and talking about what Kuminga can improve on. Because I think that I want you to talk more about what Kuminga, because there are some things when Steph is playing and Kuminga goes into prove it mode when you've got Steph Curry on the floor. There are times that he needs to improve on that, where the ball sticks in an offense that is a motion offense. There are things that he needs to continue to improve on. And so if you've got to pick one primary scorer, that's an area in which, in my opinion, Kuminga was trying to prove for a contract in an area in which the Warriors were trying to win. So there wasn't this happy balance. So now that money's situated, he's got to show that he knows how to maximize on top of it. Yes, when Steph Curry went out and Kuminga could just go hoop and the ball could stick, he looks great. But that's not the confines in which he needs to play with Steph.
But he was trying to
Especially
get
when
his money.
he's trying to what?
He was trying to get his money.
Agreed.
Especially when you have Steph Curry, guys, who has said he's still in his prime and playing at an elite level. He was just voted as the best American player in the NBA, according to a survey by 20 coaches and executives, scouts as well. I do want to also add this layer to all of this. The Warriors also just signed his brother, Seth Curry. First time ever the two of them will play alongside one another. Seth at 35. Do you think that was a win now move for the Warriors when you're thinking of guys who are trying to prove it, when possibly thinking of the future for the Warriors? You also have their best player who still feels like he's in his prime and playing at an elite level. Or was that a legacy gift move kind of for Steph?
No,
this is not a Giannis. What's his name? Thanasis. It's not one of them situations. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Seth is going to bring something to the table.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Spacing, and when he's on the floor, you can't leave him open. You can't leave him open. Can't leave him open. So that's the and Al Horford. Even then, Al is the stretch 4-5 with him and Draymond. You don't want them to have to depend on Al for all 82 and a postseason run. But if Al can give you he was splitting time a lot with Porzingis. When Porzingis was healthy, he would play less. Porzingis was banged up, he would play more. They would kind of do that. They would give different opportunities. I just don't want them to lean too heavily because I think Al could be huge for them in the postseason. Huge.
Seth, guys, last year played 68 games, shot 46%.
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Imagine Steph running in circles with his brother standing there, and you can't leave him either.